Hello, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Tamara, and I am a homeschooling mom of three. And in this video, I'm just going to be sharing with you how the first week of school went for us, a bit about the way our schedule is set up and how I balance our homeschool schedule with my homemaking schedule with my working from home schedule. And I'm going to try to make that all really, really quick and simple. And I'm looking over at my schedule to help me stay balanced and not to forget anything. So first things first, I've been homeschooling for 7 years. I've been out of the workforce full-time for about 5.5 years. And my schedule from year to year changes. So let me just start by saying there's not a one size, one time forever fits all scenarios type of schedule. I'm constantly assessing, changing, making little tweaks here and there for what our family needs at the time. And so this video is a snapshot of where we are right now, which may not be where we are in 6 months or 8 months or next year. In fact, this school year, I started working part-time from home last February. And so that was a new change that I had to be accommodated with the homeschool schedule. And the first few months of that were rough. Let me just, I can laugh about it now, but I was struggling back then to balance the schedule because I was working for VIP Kid, which is teaching kids English in a different time zone. So waking up was crazy and then still needing to get things done in the day. But anyway, not with VIP Kid anymore. I'm with a schedule that's much different. So let me just jump right in. So Monday through Friday are the only days I work. I don't work on the weekends, if at all, if I can help it, or if I might, just depends, but usually I don't. So the first thing I do on my schedule every morning is I just wake up about 6:15. I have 2 alarms. One is like, sweet, calm, good morning, wake up to the day, 6:15. And I pretty much just lay there. I look at my phone to see, if I've got emails or if I want to read anything, that just slowly wake up. And then 6:30, another alarm goes off. It's like, all right, seriously, get up. And so then I'm helping my husband out the door for work. And that's all between 6:15 when I'm waking up and 7 when he's usually leaving, or about that time. And then from 7 to 7:15 to 8 o'clock in the morning is when I'm doing breakfast, starting clothes. So I one thing that helps me is I start a load of laundry while I'm making coffee, because it usually, like, while my coffee's brewing, I can get a load of laundry in, and that just helps me get started with the day. I also make my bed at that time. I'm getting dressed, I'm doing my personal hygiene, and just whatever like quiet chores can be done, because at that time my kids are usually still asleep. So whatever simple quiet chores can be done during that time is usually what I'm doing. And then my work schedule starts at 8. I go to work from 8 to 9:30 in the morning. That's a first shift that I have. And if you want to know like what I do to work from home, that can be a whole separate video. Just leave a comment or question asking about it. Otherwise, why bother? But yeah, I work from 8 to 9:30 in the morning. And then our homeschool actually starts at 9:30. And full disclosure, I did not work when I had super young kids. So like when my son was under the age of 4, I did not work, and I wouldn't recommend it if you can help it, just because there's enough to do in the day without adding working on top. But I understand everybody's situation is different. But once my kids became more independent, working from home became something that I wanted to try or wanted to get back into. So anyway, our homeschool starts at 9:30, and always at 9:30, we're doing ELA and math. That's what I call our foundation subjects. We do those Monday through Friday, every day. That's what we're using our school books for, our workbooks, which I've introduced in a different video. And that's the structured part of our day. That's the analog part of our day. We're not usually using digital resources that early in the morning, unless one of my kids is struggling with something and they need to watch the video explanation that goes along with the book. But usually we're just doing like an old school workbooks, games that involve like flashcards or manipulatives, and that's the morning. And when they're done with whatever they're assigned that day, they're done for the morning. Whether that is completed in 40 minutes or 2.5 hours, that's the time limit that I've put out for foundation subjects. During that time, like I said, I'm not working, but if there's chores that need to be done or something that I didn't finish, I might pop off to the side to do that, but usually I don't, because I've done whatever I needed to do that morning before work. So then at noon, the kids go have lunch, and then I go back to work for another hour and a half from 12 to 1:30. And while they're at lunch, I'm doing that second shift of work, and I work 3 hours a day. So the 1.5 hours in the morning before school and the 1.5 hours during lunch break, that's my work day. And then, I don't know why I did it in air quotes, it is work, I get paid for it. But anyway, so when they're done with lunch, I'm done with work. And then at 1:30, we go into what I call our enrichment subjects. So these are subjects that are more fun. We enjoy them a lot more, and they would include our digital resources, or just, these are non-workbook subjects usually. So in the afternoons, they'll start off with Spanish, and then Spanish is also every day of the week, where we do a half hour a day of Spanish. But then after that, it changes. So for example, on Mondays, we do science and typing. On Tuesdays, we do social studies and engineering. On Wednesdays, we do PE or wellness and computer science and coding. On Thursdays, we do visual arts, which includes art and music. And, come on, I know this. What do we do on Thursday afternoons? Oh, home economics. And then Friday is Spanish. And then Friday afternoons is financial literacy and just general life hacks. Like, for example, yesterday was Friday, and the life hack that we talked about was how to do assessments and why they're important. And our practical exercise was just talking about, we assessed what went well for our schedule for the homeschool week. And the reason I really like to include that in there is because life itself is a fantastic teacher. And I even showed them how, like, I get assessed at work, and my husband gets assessments at work, and we're always doing like different assessments, even just with our homeschool schedule, to try to make sure we're doing what's best for our family. So those are our afternoon enrichment subjects, which we do from 1:30 to 4 every Monday through Friday. So then at 4, we're done, we're wrapped for the day. I'm usually, at that time, if I have to prepare dinner, that's when I go and do that. Otherwise, if we've already had dinner planned, or if we're having leftovers, it just kind of becomes like a free time at the afternoon. The kids go play, do their thing. I go read or do my thing just to relax. And this all gets, us winding down. And then my husband comes home, and we'll just have like some family time. We'll have dinner. And then I have a little part in here in the schedule where we do it like a nighttime cleanup. And that's just dishes, putting the living room back together, just any sort of tidying up that needs to happen that puts us in a good position for the next morning. That's usually when that happens. And then my kids' bedtime is about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and mine is somewhere between sometime after 10, really. Like, to be honest, it's not always the same. So that's in general how I balance it. If you would like to see more, have more detailed questions, I really wanted to keep this real general, because I get sometimes where people will say things to me like, I'd like to homeschool, but I need to work, or I like to homeschool, but I don't really know how to schedule it, or I'd like to homeschool, but I don't know what curriculum to choose. And those are valid questions, valid concerns. And I make videos just to try to be helpful in some way, but I respond best to questions. So if there's a specific question, I can go into more detail, but that's the general schedule for how we balance our routine. I also use the iCal calendar. Every subject, every part of our life has like a different color. And that's how I really balance things. So homeschool has a different color than homemaking. And one thing I also didn't include on here is I go ahead and plan out what chores need to be done on which days, no more than 3 per day, with the exception of dishes and laundry, because that's every day, all day. But like, for example, I clean bathrooms on different days than I vacuum and mop, so that it's not, you know, too overwhelming. And then what else do I have on here? I change my linen every Wednesday, dusting, cleaning mirrors, windows, like everything has a different day of the week that it gets done, like cleaning out the car, shredding or filing mail. Like, I've planned those tasks out so that I'm really not even thinking about it anymore at this point, because my phone does such a great job of reminding me of when bills come out and what chores need to be done. And just using the iCal feature to set those reminders and having it chime at me throughout the day keeps me on track. So I'm really not stressing and thinking, oh my gosh, what task needs to be done today? Or when was the last time I mopped? Or when was the last time I cleaned the windows? Because it's set on a routine, on a weekly, monthly basis. And I would recommend that. That was a huge stress relief, is to sit down one day with your calendar, plan it out. And I'm digital and analog, and that's for homeschooling and homemaking. So I have a digital calendar that I'm looking at on my computer that syncs with my phone, but I also am analog with my planner. So I like to write things down too, because these things that I keep digitally are things that happen on a routine basis, but then there's always those pop-up activities that are not routine. And that's what I like to write down, because it helps me to remember and reinforce what I need to do and get done. So I'm gonna kind of draw the line here at that video. If you wanna see something more detailed where I actually go through and show you like line by line, let me know that. If not, that's fine too, because like I said, I respond best to questions. If no one's asking, then I'm not probably telling. But let me know what y'all would like to know more about. If you have questions, concerns, comments, suggestions, leave them in the comment section below, and I try to respond to everything as quickly as I can. Otherwise, I'll just catch you guys in the next one. Bye.